It's finally time. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Ranking Every Mario Game on Switch 2024 edition. I'm really excited for this one, since it's one of the most important Mario game rankings. There were 4 new Mario games this year, and not only do we get to compare how these games stack up to the rest, but some of these games honestly impact how good the other games are in the ranking, changing their positions from past years. More importantly, there's a good chance that this is it. There's a good chance we might not get another game starring Mario that's exclusive to the Switch 1. So there's a chance this is the ranking that'll go down in history as the best Mario games for the Switch era, and because of that, I'm getting crazy with them. I'm sorry, sometimes I think, oh, I should probably change these rankings around and people will hate this. But what is the point of me even making this video if not to state my own opinion rather than parrot the community's? I'll be responding to a bunch of comments down below, trying to continue the discussion beyond just the video, so let me know where you think I'm really wrong down there. With that all out of the way, we have to start ranking all 23 Mario games on the Nintendo Switch. We're starting it all off with Super Mario 35. Yup, this will never not be last place because you straight up cannot play it. I know this might not technically count as a full Mario game or whatever, it was just a little eShop thing, but I will die on this hill the fact that they made a full awesome Mario Battle Royale game that you could only play for a couple of months. Everyone deserves to be reminded of how bonehead of a move that was by Nintendo. Coming in at number 22, we have Mario and Sonic at the Tokyo 2020 Olympics. Every time I talk about this game, I have to bring up the fact that the Tokyo 2020 Olympics obviously didn't happen, so like, I don't know, this game is weird, and that's not the only reason why. They added in these pixel 2D events, which are honestly a cool concept, but besides that, it feels like this game really just lacked the originality and just the novelness of the Mario and Sonic Olympic games we got on like the Wii. So this just turns out to be a pretty boring minigame collection, which is made so much worse by the fact that there are a lot of other really good minigame collections later on this list. I really can't recommend buying this at all. Alright, next up we have Mario Strikers Battle League. I absolutely hate that I have to put this so low on the list, because the Strikers series is so dang fun, but they fumbled this entry so hard. There is pretty much nothing to do here but play the main game mode. There's no campaigns, side modes, nothing like that. The main game mode is meant to be a pretty competitive version of Mario Strikers, which makes the couch co-op sessions a lot less fun. There's no changing stadiums or nothing, so all you're left to do is play online. One problem: no one is playing this game online. Next up, we have Super Mario Party. This is a discussion I'm willing to have many times in the comment section. I know a lot of you think this game is overhated, specifically by me. And you're right, I probably hate on this game in videos too much, but that's only because I hate this game a lot. I genuinely do not think that there is a single thing to do in Super Mario Party that I could genuinely recommend the game for. The main Mario Party mode is one of the worst it's ever been. 4 generic boards restricted to a grid-based format, and the most unfun, busted economy ever. River Survival, Toad's Rec Room, even the online challenge mode are all kind of cool in theory, but once again, horrible execution. River Survival has like 10 total minigames you can play, and not to mention, we have Mario Party Superstars and newcomers Super Mario Party Jamboree, which, spoiler alert for later in the video, I think is one of the best Mario Party games we've ever gotten. I cannot see a single reason that anyone would go out and buy this game. I also don't see a single reason why anyone would even play this game if you already own it. Super Mario Party is like playing a really badly designed board game with your friends. It can go on for way too long, be generally uninteresting and unbalanced, get super repetitive, but you're playing with your friends, so you can still have a fun time. But I don't think this game is doing a single fun, unique, special thing to warrant being placed any higher on this list. Talk to me in the comments. Next up, we have Mario Kart Live Home Circuit. I love the idea of this thing, but honestly, the fact that you need to have like a completely clear space to do it, preferably not on rug, and then if you want to save a course, you have to leave all that stuff up in the physical world. I'm never really going back to this, especially if I have friends over, because I just want to play Mario Kart. I don't want to like make a course. There are also just not enough options to really get creative with it. Next up, we have Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle. This is another one the comments think I hate on way too much. I am a huge Rayman fan, so I'm familiar with the Rabbids. They're these little minion-like creatures with incredibly juvenile humor. Then this entire game was leaked, and before they could announce anything, the gaming community learned that Ubisoft was somehow able to secure the ability to develop a Mario plus Rabbids crossover, but the gameplay from the crossover is taken from XCOM. That on paper sounds like a horrible idea. This should not have worked, but somehow, some way, under the brilliant creative direction of David Soliani, who worked on the masterful Rayman games, they made a genuinely good game featuring Mario with a gun, the Rabbids, with tactical staged turn-based battles. This is a ridiculously impressive accomplishment, and you can feel the passion in this game too, whether watching the director get acknowledged by Miyamoto or listening to the brilliant soundtrack by Grant Kirkhope. This is a very easy game to root for, and a lot of people have it thanks to Ubisoft putting their games on like 90% sales every other day. But I'm gonna be honest, the game itself, while still impressive, is kind of a snooze fest. If you've played other games with similar ideas of combat, the battles here are woefully uninspired. Being able to launch off your allies is a neat idea, but to me, the battles in this game felt incredibly boring and repetitive. Given that exploring the overworld has pretty much nothing of substance, I just cannot really recommend this game, and that unfortunately goes for its sequel Sparks of Hope as well, which is generally just more of the same with a vaguely Mario Galaxy inspired story. If you want to play a game where you just kind of go through the motions, solving somewhat generic puzzles in trial and error combat, then hey, these games are for you. Coming up, we have our first new game of the video, Mario vs. Donkey Kong. This is a remake of Mario vs. Donkey Kong for the Game Boy Advance. However, it includes plenty more features, such as a casual mode and new worlds to boost this game up to over 130 levels, plus it's only $50. It doesn't try and do a lot, but the puzzles are pretty creative, so if you enjoy puzzle games, there's a lot here to keep you entertained. Next, we have Mario Golf Super Rush. While vastly better than Mario Strikers Battle League, unfortunately, Super Rush's cool additions of speed golf and a decently sized RPG campaign just don't do enough, and the same thing can be said for Mario Tennis Aces. Aces has incredibly deep mechanics, but a lot of customization and additional modes are just too small in scope. Next up, we have Paper Mario, the Origami King. This is a very visually appealing, wildly witty and charming Paper Mario game with one of the most obnoxious battle mechanics possible. Genuinely to me, Paper Mario, the Origami King's battle system takes the repetitive nature of the Mario plus Rabbids games and puts them in a Paper Mario game. The combat is just not fun at all, and that's all I'll say on this game, cause we got another one of these coming up in a bit. Another Mario RPG, but this time a remake of the one that started it all. Super Mario RPG on the Nintendo Switch still holds up as an incredibly snappy and downright creative RPG. You can feel the Mario RPG identity being born as you play this game. They tried a lot of stuff that worked and some stuff that didn't, but it's a really fun game with charming characters, and the battle system doesn't suck. Definitely a great time. Next up, we have Mario Party Superstars. Last year, this game was a lot higher on the list, but I genuinely believe Jamboree is so good that it makes the other Mario Party games on the Switch worse, because I just am never going to want to play them. With 2 less boards, a way smaller roster, less minigames, and 0 new minigames, I will always now see Mario Party Superstars as ND Cube acknowledging how bad Super Mario Party was, and then giving the fans something to tide us over until they created the banger of Jamboree. The next game on this list is a new game on this list, Mario and Luigi Brothership. I'm not going to go too in depth on my thoughts on this game, as I did a whole video going over the good, the bad, and the ugly. And if I'm being honest, the rumors of this game's demise have been greatly over-exaggerated. This is not a bad game, far from it. I'd actually say it's a really great game with a couple of pretty noticeable flaws. The introduction is horrible, takes way too long, and just puts you in a bad mood to play through the rest. Couple that with annoying choices like changing the Luigi B button in combat and frequently bad load times, and you have a game that I think's in the top half of Mario games, but it's towards the bottom of that top half. Next up, we have New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe. I understand that this game is a port, but just viewing it as the package that it is, it's hard to not recommend anyone buy this game. Especially now that we've gotten a break from the New Super Mario Bros. Monotony with the brilliance of Super Mario Bros. Wonder, going back to New Soup U still acts as a genuinely enjoyable experience, arguably more so now, with its truly chaotic multiplayer and consistently high-quality level design, plus an entire extra Luigi U campaign that functions basically as a challenge mode. But then there's also the other challenge modes. Yeah, this game is just a banger through and through. It's a great deal if you're looking for some fun 2D Mario action. Next up, we have Paper Mario: The Thousand-Year Door. You all knew this one was coming. This is a brand new game releasing earlier this year, and it's a remake of the GameCube classic that has always been hailed as one of the best Mario RPG games, so it's not really a surprise it is the highest ranked one on this list. This game is not perfect. The dialogue is really well written, but there's unfortunately just a lot of it, which contributes to some slight pacing issues, but besides that, most other issues that the original game might have even had, completely gone. New pipes have opened up for backtracking, and there are plenty of clever tweaks, plus probably the best looking Paper Mario visual style to date. Super Mario 3D All-Stars is really 3 games in one. Fortunately, these games are some of the greatest of all time. Unfortunately, all of them are getting a little old. Galaxy still holds up great, and while the motion controls are not nearly as precise and require frequent recalibration unlike the Wii's, the game's been upscaled to HD, but the textures hold up wonderfully. Sunshine is where some of the cracks start to show. It is widescreen, but it didn't launch with GameCube controller support, and they didn't address some of the fundamental biggest flaws within that game, such as simply adding like a blue coin tracker, which really wouldn't have taken any time at all. 64 though is locked at 720p, and you also can't change it to widescreen from 4:3. They're some of the greatest games of all time, so as a package it has to be up here, but you add in all the other random weird stuff, such as you only being able to buy this for a limited time, but stores near me still have stock, on top of these low effort remasters, and I can't in good faith place this package any higher. Super Mario Maker 2 is how you do a sequel. There is simply so much in this game that even though it's still annoying to find great levels, there's so much creativity within the core community of this game, it's almost always a good time. And the fact that you can create entire campaigns by linking worlds of your own levels together, yeah, okay, this game is awesome. Super Mario Party Jamboree is the final 2024 game on this list. I also did a video talking about how good this game is when it came out, but in that video I mentioned a couple flaws, and some of those flaws are still really annoying. However, the good stuff about this game, I am appreciating more and more every time I play. I genuinely think NDCube has cracked the code on how to make great boards, because Mario's Rainbow Castle and Westerland are great, but those are remakes of older boards. Boards like King Bowser's Keep, Rainbow Galleria, Roll'em Raceway, these are all bangers. They play just like classic original Mario Party while still including the benefits of modern Mario Party, such as a great graphical style where this game actually has like interactive camera work, a brilliant selection of minigames, and an ally mechanic that I'm gonna be honest has grown on me a decent amount. Even the side modes, while still being a little and I probably won't play them much ever, are a vast improvement on Super Mario Parties. Plus the biggest roster and 7 boards, you will always have a fun time playing local multiplayer with your friends on this game. I'm so happy to say Super Mario Party Jamboree truly rocks. Super Mario Bros. Wonder came out and proved that, yeah, 2D Mario is not dead, as this was the first new 2D Mario game to come out after the invention of Mario Maker. Luckily, they reinvented the series with an awesome new art style and the Wonder Flower, which literally feels like a hybrid of like captures from Mario Odyssey mixed with the environmental mayhem of Fury Bowser, all jammed into awesome 2D Mario levels. You can walk on the wall in this game. That's awesome. Badges are great too. There's just so much here to love. Super Mario Bros. Wonder might not be a perfect 2D Mario game, but as a not new, but new Super Mario Bros. Game, it does everything it needed to and more. Alright, when I said at the start of this video that I was going to be giving my opinion, and that at times it differed heavily from what people generally believe, keep that in mind for number 3, which is Super Mario Odyssey. This is one of the greatest Mario games of all time. It is a masterfully crafted, incredibly addictive, highly replayable, beautiful 3D Mario game. People often compare this game to Super Mario 64 or Sunshine, but you know an N64 3D platformer I like more than Super Mario 64? It's Banjo-Kazooie. And this game, it feels like steals more from Banjo structurally than any other past 3D Mario game. Moons don't kick you out to some hub world. You're truly exploring vast kingdoms rather than switching between levels. The music and presentation are obviously flawless, and this is arguably Nintendo at their creative peak. This game is incredible, which is why it's number 3 on this list. I think it does almost everything it sets out to do brilliantly. However, if I had to pick a game I like more, it would go to number 2, Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury. One thing Odyssey did not really even try to do is implement good multiplayer. I think 3D World's local multiplayer is some of the most fun you can have in any Nintendo game. Working together to complete the level, but fighting amongst each other to get the crown at the end is genuinely so addictive with the right set of people. Not to mention the pace that they hit you with different levels, themes, collectibles, ideas. This game is like one long roller coaster that never stops and you don't have to go back up the conveyor belt. The Switch version 2 has so many tweaks and pulls from Odyssey itself. You can now ground pound or roll into pipes. You get a midair dive. The characters are a lot faster across the board, and there's even Odyssey's same screenshot mode. But the addictive local multiplayer makes this package so hard to beat, especially when you factor in the other part of the deal, which is Bowser's Fury. The fact of the matter is, it's a tight, short experience, but within that experience, not only are you constantly finding yourself in some of the tightest platforming level design ever, but throughout the entire mini campaign, Nintendo is experimenting with what feels like the future of this entire 3D Mario series. All the islands are on one giant world map, and Fury Bowser's attacks bring an awesome twist to this campaign. Together, this package is almost unbeatable. Almost unbeatable. Mario Kart 8 on the Wii U was already the most polished Mario Kart game to date. I still think this is the best looking game that Nintendo has ever released, from a graphics and animation perspective, but also the music is probably some of the best they've made too. Taking the 48 tracks in Mario Kart 8 and giving it an awesome battle mode would have already been an insane package, and it was for many years. There's a reason this game was the highest selling game on Switch before they straight up doubled the track count and gave us tons of new characters. It is almost impossible to beat Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. This game is fun solo as you can play online against randos or grind out time trials. It's absolutely electric when playing with friends. It is so hard to think of a single reason why this game is not the best Mario game on Switch. It's my most played, it's probably your most played, and that's for a reason. Mario Kart is one of Nintendo's most fun series ever, and this game is by far the best in that series. Also being placed on a console, there was such a great match that this shot is literally the shot that sold everyone on the concept of the Nintendo Switch. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe has to be the best game on this console. But let me know down in the comments below if you agreed. This video was a lot longer than last year's because I really wanted to get all my thoughts out on these games. So let me know if you agree and disagree, but also let me know if you enjoyed the video in the comments below. If you did, once again, hitting the like button and subscribing means so much. And if you enjoyed this video, here's another one on screen right now, or you can check out our podcast where we just ranked Nintendo's best snow levels. The winter vibes there are perfect.